And welcome back to the Morning Brew. Of course, we have so many interesting people in our coverage area. This morning's guest is no surprise. Very interesting individual, Patrick Severts.
Thank you.
How are you doing, sir?
I am doing fine, Kevin.
Patrick is an archaeologist.
That's right.
Historian, archaeologist, artifact specialist, you name it. Before we get started, tell us how you got involved with, just rewind the tape a little bit and tell us, how did you get involved with becoming an archaeologist many years ago?
Well, actually, that's a long trip. I actually started reading archaeology books back in 5th grade.
Wow, 5th grade.
So from then on, I had an idea that I wanted to become an archaeologist.
Okay.
But when I moved to New Mexico several years ago, I started with the museum in New Mexico after college in 1989, I believe it was. And I spent the first 10 years working in the Southwest.
Okay.
And that's where I met my wife, Nancy, Nancy Williams. And she got transferred to Georgia. And she's from this area, so, one thing led to another. We ended up inheriting the property down here off of old Troop Factory Hill. It's off of Highway 27.
Okay.
And so I've been doing archaeology since '89 professionally, but retired a few years ago when we built a home down here.
So you're retired now?
I'm semi-retired. I'm probably the busiest retiree.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at.
I get calls to do. This time in my life, I can pick and choose my projects. So I only do the fun projects.
Okay. All right.
So I worked for a company or two companies in Atlanta when we first moved here. And one was Brockington Associates. Then I followed up with New South. So I've got about 17 years in archaeology in Georgia, or in the southeast.
Okay.
And this is where we found out where I really enjoyed conflict archaeology, studying battlefields and such. Unfortunately, I don't have a battlefield on my own property. We made one. But when my wife retired a few years ago, I figured it was time for me to come down and retire with her. We inherited the land, and we built our home. And just happens to be the property that the old Troop Factory sits on.
The Troop Factory?
Yes, the Troop Factory. It was one of the largest textile mills at its time. It started off as a small grist mill along the Flat Shoals Creek in 1829, and then in 1840s became a textile mill. And it ran from 1840, I think 45, all the way to 1906 at that spot.
Wow.
Because of flooding and other problems with the water, they were purchased and became the Parks Mill and moved to LaGrange. Several years ago, before I retired, some of the students at Georgia State decided that would be a good spot to look at. So I let them survey on 17 acres to look at the sites and figure out what all is there.
Right.
While they were doing that, they found lots of historic artifacts dating to the site at the time of the Troop Factory. And then they also recovered a significant percentage of Native American artifacts as well. So we have what we call a multi-component site. We don't,
wow.
Not just historic, but we have prehistoric. And that's when I teamed up with my friend from Kennesaw State University, and now we run what we call archaeology weekends for students. And we bring our students down from Kennesaw State University, and we let them camp, we feed them, and we do excavations on the weekends. They get a lot out of it because they get to see a different site. But the site has become fairly important simply because it has not only Native American material, which starts off with historic material, then it goes right into all major phases of Indian occupation in this part of Georgia. So we're finding stuff that dates all the way back to 9,500 before present BP.
9,500?
9,500.
On your property?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Well, we thought so. The sheer amount of material that we recovered out of these units, it's going to keep the students busy for quite a while, because not only we do the education in field, but we take this material back to their lab at Kennesaw State, and they get to analyze, and they look at these artifacts, and then from there we get to assess the lifestyle of the group that lived there. And I'm pretty sure that this represents a group that came back every season.
Okay.
I think it's a seasonal site, simply because we've been finding what we call nutting stones, and mortars. And these are processing stones used specifically for processing hickory and acorn and black walnuts. And this last weekend, we're very fortunate. We found, first for myself, I actually haven't found any in the resources, a stack of mortars and nutting stones.
Mortars, nutting stones.
Yes. So it tells me that the people who left those were intending on coming back. So it gives you a clue, because if you're going to throw something away,
Right.
do you take the time to stack it neatly?
No.
Yeah. So we're fortunate enough to leave the soil intact inside the mortar, and take the soil in between the rocks, and we bag all that separately, and we keep that in a very sterile environment, and we send it away to a lab to be processed and analyzed, and we can do things like phytolith analysis, which actually is pollen grains and plant remains that are crystallized over time, and they leave a chemical signature that'll tell us exactly what was in that mortar.
Wow.
So we're very fortunate to have found those in the location we did.
And you found so many other interesting things on that property too as well, outside of the mortars, which is great. Would you consider that's one of your greatest finds so far? I know you found a lot of great stuff. If you had to,
well, that would be one of the best finds in the Native American context, the historic context. We have so much written history about the mill site itself that's a gold mine, and it's just an amazing amount of history. Next week, it's going to be surveyed by a company. They're coming down from Atlanta. The bridge there on 27 is scheduled for demolition and replacement. So it's going to impact a large portion of the historic site. So they have to come down. They're meeting with them. We're going to walk them through the site. And fortunately, I have so much background information for them already. Talk about one lucky archaeologist. So, anytime state or federal monies are involved in that kind of activity with the Department of Transportation, or say along shoreline that's owned by federal government, if it's going to impact, they have to have cultural resources done prior to the impact. So it's so convenient that I'm there to help them, guide them into the cultural resources that I have recognized on that site already.
Wow. Wow. And that's supposed to take place. You don't know when the actual work actually starts.
The survey level will start next week on Monday. Now, when the survey is done, they have to come and map everything, and then from there, they're going to have to start doing the background and then create a plan with the Department of Transportation, so they minimize the impact of the historic sites.
Okay.
So I'm not, we'll see what what their evaluation is versus what my evaluation is. I'm kind of one-sided on this. I'm so proud of the site, and I don't want to see it impacted at all. But then again, I do want a new bridge.
A new bridge, all right.
That bridge location started in 1927. Then it was revamped in 1968. The bridge is failing. It's It really needs the help. It's currently not up to guideline standards for highway bridges. So, and there's a lot of traffic on 27.
Exactly. Now tell us a little bit about, you were talking about as it relates to the battlefield. Your what's the terminology? Battlefield archaeology, is that?
Well, conflict archaeologist.
Conflict
Yeah,
archaeologist.
conflict archaeologist.
Tell us a little bit just about that.
When I got to Georgia, I knew a little bit about metal detecting, and that kind of fell into a subcategory of archaeology called conflict archaeology.
Okay.
When you study a broad area like a battlefield, normal shovel testing like the archaeologists do, fails miserably.
Okay.
We've done tests upon tests, and we took a 5,000 acre battlefield and overlaid a shovel test grid, and we would have recovered 5 battle-related artifacts. 5. That's it. With metal detecting, you're recording all of the shot projectiles, the lead, the cartridges, just about everything, all the accoutrements, everything that was metal on the. Think of a military jacket having multiple, buttons. Those pop off. So all of the stuff that the soldier would have been able to, would have dropped, also gives us a who, when, and where. Wow. Who was at this location? When were they there? We know the written accounts of the battlefields, and then where were they from? And where were they going? So it answers a lot of specific questions. So when you apply that to all the artifacts found on a battlefield, from fired projectiles, we know what guns fired what munitions. We can map all that in, so we can see troop movements throughout a battlefield. So it's just, you take the historic records and you can actually visualize these battles as they happened. The guy I work with closely is Dr. Doug Scott. He did the first of the kind of study like this. It was Little Bighorn in Montana. And he was able to trace a single firearm through the entire battle, where it was, at one time, it was firing towards the Native Americans. Then it was captured. The gun had been turned around, and they could find projectiles firing into where the Custer's men had been standing.
Wow.
So we could trace that entire firearm, not just with fired projectiles, but it was a cartridge firearm. So they could trace the cartridge marks to that same firearm all the way around. So I belong to a small group of conflict archaeologists. Includes Dr. Doug Scott, myself, Joel Bowie, Peter Bleed, and Will Lees, that volunteer on a lot of these projects. So we get to go throughout, the nation and work on these. I worked on Gettysburg last year, and Pea Ridge, Rosebud Battlefield a few years before that, and we came up with the concept of this study that had never been done before. And one of the members that we work with, Joel Bowie and Bill Rose, they're experts on the very first day of the American Revolution. So we took one spot of time, we've analyzed the work that had been done there, had been done by Doug Scott and Joel Bowie and some various others. Took all the munitions that we found there, had the guns replicated for that munitions, and we built a palisade wall down on Flat Shoals Creek.
Man.
We had high-speed imagery cameras come in, and ballistics gel, you name it. We had it, and we spent 3 days doing nothing but shooting these flintlocks and analyzing the data that we could produce. So one of the interesting things we found was the British firearms, the 69, the Brown Besses, they were very inaccurate.
Okay.
They couldn't hit, at 100 yards, forget it.
Yeah.
You're safer at the end of the gun than you are, firing it. But the Americans had these firearms that are much smaller calibered. The ball fit better into the barrel. The barrels were longer. They were made for hunting.
Okay.
And these things were right on. At 100 yards, we could hit the target every single time, no problem. So British were kind of outgunned.
Okay.
They had us in strategy.
Right.
But they were outgunned from day one. that played to our fortunes later on in the Revolutionary War. We did lose a lot of battles, but the study became. We finished the study in 3 days. We then took all the video and all the data that we produced, and we wrote a report. That report's free online. You can get it at modernheritage.net. And that report is now the standard that archaeologists use in when they analyze and look at round ball of that time period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Patrick, we're going to have to bring you back.
That'd be
so
lovely.
much information you've given us so far. Wow, we've about 25 minutes we've been talking already. So we're going to have to bring you back and actually with some other things you got going on, because there's several other things you have going on as well.
Yes, yeah.
And so we'd like to bring you back and probably get you in a little more to talk about those things as well.
That'd be great.
I appreciate you stopping by and being a guest on the Morning Brew. And wow, very interesting, man. I told you, it speaks for itself. A lot of information, and just been fortunate to be able to be in your presence and talk with you this morning.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we're going to pause and take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the Morning Brew right here on WJCN TV.
Your Valley, Alabama Badcock Home Furniture and more will make your tax dollar go further. We have a huge selection of bedroom suites, recliners in every size, color, and style. East Alabama and West Georgia's best deal on mattresses. Badcock has appliances of all kinds. Flat screen TVs to make the whole family happy. Dinette sets to fit any decor. And a great selection of living room suites to choose from. You'll also find a great selection of kids furniture like Hello Kitty. It's your Valley, Alabama Badcock Home Furniture and More's gigantic tax refund sale.
Jackson Printing, located at 519 New Franklin Road in LaGrange, is your trusted source in West Georgia for promotional items and business printing. Jackson prints everything from business cards, letterheads, envelopes, forms, banners, postcards, graduation and wedding invitations, and much more. They also carry a large selection of trophies, medals, and plaques to help you honor employees at work or members of that special ball team. Call them at 706-884-1471 or check them out on Facebook. That's Jackson Printing in LaGrange.
You'll find the biggest and best selection of Western wear and boots at Bridges Western Store and Boot Outlet, located at I-85 Exit 70 in Casita, Alabama. They offer a huge selection of Altos boots for men and women in a large array of colors and styles. Check out Bridges for lizard, alligator, ostrich, and python snake boots. They have Wolverine work boots, Smoky Mountain work boots, and dress boots. And you'll find the men's Los Altos shirts. They've got belts by Nakona, Justin, and Tony Lama. Men's hats by Bailey, Bullhide, and Tony Lama. Bridges Western Store and Boot Outlet has ladies' hats, dresses, and t-shirts. Plus, a huge selection of Brighton jewelry, shoes, and handbags. There's always something for everyone at Bridges Western Wear and Boot Outlet. Take I-85 Exit 70, Casita, Alabama.
Life in the country is a conscious choice. And with that choice comes hard work, attention to detail, and investing in the right tools to keep your home or farm at its best. So why choose anything but the very best zero turns on the market today? Exmark. Known for their durability, precision cut, and time-saving performance, Exmarks are the preferred brand of mowing equipment for the landscape professional and people like you who take pride in their lawn. For special pricing incentives, visit exmark.com or your local dealer.
Mud Creek Graphics in LaGrange specializes in one thing, your needs. They have printed everything from pens and coffee mugs to stadium cups and frisbees. Mud Creek Graphics has over 12 years of experience in printing t-shirts for everything from team shirts to reunions. They also customize corporate apparel for the office. They can produce any type sign, decal, custom magnets, or vehicle wraps. They are also the perfect place to pick up those school spirit shirts to show your team pride. So take that next event or project to a new level with the creative staff at Mud Creek Graphics, where they specialize in one thing, your needs.
If you've got aches and pains, a visit to Aspinwall Chiropractic Clinic could get you up and about. Jim and Keith Aspinwall offer chiropractic medicine. They specialize in lower back pain, headaches, joint and bone problems, and lots of other problems as well. They can offer you a non-invasive treatment that is very effective. They do offer all of your vitamins and supplements. Aspinwall Chiropractic Clinic accepts most insurance plans. They are located on South Greenwood Street in LaGrange and have helped many people in this area. Call 706-884-8360 for an appointment. They're open 9 to 6 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 to 5 on Tuesday. They're closed on Thursdays and open on Saturday from 9 until 12 at Aspinwall Chiropractic Clinic on South Greenwood Street.
It's time to remodel your kitchen or bath. And right now, Kitchens by Design is ready and willing and able to help you, the experts with over 20 years experience. DK and Jeremy invite you to call them for free estimates. They're licensed in Alabama and Georgia. Open Monday through Friday, 9 till 5, located Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange. For more information, call the experts, DK and Jeremy, at Kitchen and Baths by Design, 706-443-5139. Hurst Accounting and Financial Services. Shane and Angie Hurst, located Avenue C, West Point. Open Monday through Saturday for all your tax needs. And while they don't guarantee you'll get money back, they can certainly steer you in the right direction. They help residential customers and they help business customers each and every day, Monday through Saturday. So give them a call at 643-0105. That's Hurst Financial and Accounting, located Avenue C, West Point.
Valley Bowl is a new remodeled center serving the Greater Valley and surrounding areas in East Alabama and West Georgia. Valley Bowl includes a small arcade, pool tables, air hockey, 24 immaculate bowling lanes, spacious seating, and renovated amenities. We also offer a snack bar with classic combinations and delicious food featuring the best hamburgers in town. They are simply amazing. You just have to try one. At Valley Bowl, we can provide for kids' birthday parties and other group events. And don't forget about Moonlight Bowling on Friday and Saturday nights. We also offer special church and group rates. Come and